reviewing a movie in my car. It's almost midnight. Don't freak out, guys. It's okay. Guys, I don't know. Anyway, hey there, guys. What's up? What's going on? It is all about Mike 18. No, I heard people walking and talking, like, down the street, like, right before I started filming this. I'm pretty creeped out, guys. It's almost midnight. Look. There you go. I'm not lying. Boom. Guys, what's up? What's going on? It's all about Mike 18 here, back with another movie review. Now, guys, I'm pretty sure a lot of you are like, Mike, what's wrong with you? You have enough problems already in your YouTube location. Why do you have to film movie reviews in cars? I usually try to only film Blu-ray updates or random vlogs in my car. I actually hate filming movie reviews in my car, guys, but I have a good reason. I saw two films. I did a double feature tonight at a Bowtie Cinema, and one of them that I am going to be reviewing, I'll pull the poster up for it on my phone right now, even though I have a big poster for it. What I'm going to be reviewing in this video is Indignation, starring Logan Lerman and directed by James Schmaus, if I'm saying that correctly. I'm going to review that in this video, and I also saw, before Indignation, I saw Hell or High Water. So I'll also be getting a review up for that. I kind of took a break from the mainstream movies. We had gotten a lot. This weekend just looked meh for me. Like, we had War Dogs and Ben-Hur, and I was just like, nah, I'll pass. And I did, and I sought out two indies that actually were on my radar, and I was like, okay, they actually look pretty decent. I definitely want to see them at some point. But for that reason, guys, since I did a double feature later during the day, later at night, I saw two movies back to back. I want to shoot the reviews right now, okay? Like, I just saw the movies. It's fresh in my head. It's going to be early Friday morning, and I would have waited to shoot my reviews, but I didn't want to, because I didn't want to lose my thoughts on the movie. I love seeing and talking about a movie when it's fresh in my head. I hate reviewing a movie like 4 days after I watch it. But that was one reason. The other reason, I am busy this weekend. Tomorrow, I'm not going to be around at all. Friday, I'm going to be out with my family. And then Saturday, I have work. So I'm not going to get a chance to shoot these reviews another time. So I just want to shoot them now and get them over with. So I apologize for the fact that I'm shooting them in my car and it's not my standard YouTube movie room where I film my reviews, okay? So I apologize for that. That said, let's talk about Indignation. I was looking forward to this. I don't know how this flew out under my radar, actually. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that I probably saw a trailer. I probably saw the trailer, or I just checked my local indie theaters, and I said, okay, what is Indignation? I looked at the trailer. But yeah, it's Logan Lerman is an actor who I really admire, and I think is a really good actor. So that was definitely one reason why I decided to go. And I got this giant-ass Indignation poster. I can't even hold it up. It's so big. But I got this at the movie. It was free. Who doesn't love free posters? Here, I'll give you guys a quick little boom. There you have it. So, 4 minutes in, and I haven't actually started talking about the movie yet. Oh boy, this is why my videos are long. Okay, so guys, so Indignation, let's get into the premise, because I'm sure a lot of you guys don't know what this is about. If you haven't heard of it, not many have. Just to give an example as to why I'm scared for this movie. It's probably been out for a while now, but I was the only one in the theater. I went 9:15 showing. No one was in the theater. 0 people. I had the entire theater to myself. I don't remember the last time I went to a movie by myself. Like, I went to one recently with my girlfriend in May, and we had the theater to ourselves. But other than that, I've never, ever had a movie theater to myself. So that was amazing, let alone. But guys, Indignation stars Logan Lerman. His name is Marcus in this film, and he is playing a college freshman who travels from Newark, New Jersey to a small college in, I think, somewhere in Ohio or something. And he has a lot of, like, interesting viewpoints. First off, he's not very social. Let's just put it at that. He he's the type of person, though, you would look at him and you'd be like, no, that guy, yeah, I'd buy that guy. He looks sociable, but he's really not. Like, he talks with people, but he doesn't interact with people, like, outside of, like, class and stuff, or outside of talking with his roommates. He keeps to himself pretty much, doesn't get involved in extracurricular things, and he has a lot of viewpoints on how the college is structured and organized and everything. All of this, meanwhile, is set during the 1950s, early 1950s, during the time of the Korean War. So that's like the backdrop for this period piece. And during his stay at this college in his first semester, he meets a very attractive young blonde-haired woman. And she is played by Sarah Gadon in this movie. And the two of them go on a date. And something very interesting and very unexpected happens to him during that date. And it just causes a whole chain of events and causes him to sort of react to it in a way that, you know, just something very unexpected happened. I just want to put it at that. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't seen the movie, or I don't remember if what happens in this part of the movie was in the trailer. I don't think it was. That said, guys, that's basically the main premise of Indignation. That's all I want to talk about without spoiling. And I enjoyed this movie. That was abrupt. Just getting to my thoughts. Again, as I said, having the theater to myself, the experience of watching this movie, even though it was 9 at night, by myself in a completely empty theater, where if I wanted to, I could laugh out loud at something that I thought was funny. This movie's not it's not a comedy by any means, though. It is a serious interpersonal drama that I looked at as a film trying to delve into essentially a person's mind and how they're thinking about certain issues in not only society but interpersonal or personal issues going on in life. And I sort of read the movie as that throughout all of it, throughout most of it at least. And for the most part, I enjoyed where they were going with the character. I definitely think this film works as a character piece, looking into the mind of Logan Lerman's character. And I think that is its strong suit. I don't think it's a perfect movie. I think it's a film that ultimately, looking back on, my biggest problem, just to quickly name it right off the gate, and I'll get more into it in a bit, was the fact that I felt they were trying to juggle so many things about this certain character's beliefs and how he interacts with other people. And I honestly feel that they didn't know what they wanted to narrow on, what they wanted to focus on conveying in terms of the story and in terms of the growth of this character. And it sort of just came off as very rushed and very messy, kind of. Yeah, I don't know. I thought someone was watching me for a second. I don't know. It's midnight. No one's watching me. I don't know what the hell I'm thinking. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of where I lie with the film now. I want to get into the pros, though, of course, guys. I think the silver light, the shining grace of this movie is, without a doubt, the cast. And that is, of course, due to Logan Lerman's performance. Logan Lerman, I think, is an actor who made it pretty big, for the most part, with Perks of Being a Wallflower. A lot of people were like, this kid's good. He needs to be in more movies. And that was kind of it. He kind of fizzled out and was just in the rest of the Percy Jackson movies and in Fury, David Ayer's Fury. And I thought he was really good in Fury, but again, I don't think a lot of people saw that either. So I feel he's been a really good talent who maybe hasn't gotten the recognition that I think he should have, or not a lot of people have talked about him anyway. But I think he's phenomenal in this film. And because this is essentially a delving into this character, and he's the protagonist in this movie, I think it's an excellent showcase of what an amazing actor he is. I just think there's several scenes, and there's one scene in particular that I personally feel was too lengthy and severely needed to be cut down, because one rule I love to follow with screenwriting, especially when it comes to hefty dialogue, because there is a lot of dialogue in this movie. This movie, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this movie is 100% dialogue driven. Okay, in terms of the screenplay, not in terms of from a story level. There is a focus, but I think it gets jumbled because of lots of different things that the filmmakers are trying to say. Because of that, the dialogue is what is also driving the story, and there's so much of it. And I feel that there's one incredibly lengthy, almost interrogation scene between him and the dean, and what kept that scene and what kept my engagement so much into that scene, even though I thought it was long as hell and really needed to be trimmed, was how great he was in that movie. This kid is literally about to just break down in the middle of this guy's office. This guy's hammering him with question after question after question, delving more into personal things that, quite frankly, maybe a dean shouldn't be asking, but because he's concerned for one of his students, obviously he's going to ask and pander to one of his students. And I think he's great. I think he holds up so incredibly well on his own. I think he has amazing chemistry with Sarah Gadon, who is also really good in this movie. I'll get into her in a second. And I think for the most part, his character is fleshed out, and there's a lot of interesting traits about him that I thought he portrayed very well, namely the fact that he is a social outcast for the most part. He is very intellectually stimulated. He's very resourceful for the most part. And he is essentially studying to become a lawyer, and that totally shows in the fact that he's very argumentative. He doesn't let, like, an argument go or something, or he will be the type that if a certain point or topic is brought up, he's not letting that go, okay? Like, you're gonna have a pretty lengthy discussion with him about it. Let's just put it at that. So yeah, I thought that he was phenomenal in this movie. One of the best parts of this movie, by far, was Logan Lerman. And then Sarah Gadon comes into the movie, and I thought that from their first date alone, I totally bought into their relationship. And then something happens. They do something with her character, and specifically her interaction with Logan Lerman's character. And I thought it was very risky for the period that they were portraying, but I thought it worked, because what happens, I don't think, was a common thing amongst most women during that time period. Let's just put it at that. And whether or not people have problems with the depiction of women in this movie, I felt that it was a refreshing depiction or take on women during this time period. And I loved Sarah Gadon's character in this movie. She's very layered. She's not just I know a lot of people are going to watch that first scene, they're going to be like, okay, she's just there's a certain name for her. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. They even use it in the movie itself. So they're going to just label her as that, because this is the label that everyone will give to her. But she has a lot more going on, a lot more that gets delved into her past regarding her psychosis. And the movie says so many interesting things about certain disorders. That's all I'm really going to get into. But I thought she was great. I thought their chemistry was great. I thought the film looked really nice. I did have one problem with the format, though. I don't know what it was, but it's very hard to explain this flaw. There's a certain shooting format that people shoot movies with. It's very hard to explain this. And I felt that the filmmakers were switching between two shooting formats. Like, it was not the aspect ratio. It felt like it was either the frame rate or something just felt off. Like, some shots felt like they maybe shot the movie with a different camera, and other shots felt like they shot the movie with a completely different camera. And that felt really jarring to me, and I felt like they were just flip-flopping between the two, and I don't know. I don't know where they were going with that. But I think that the film as a whole was well-directed, mainly because of how great the cast is. And James Schmaus wrote and directed this movie. And I think that the screenplay, although the dialogue for the most part is riveting and invigorating. I feel that the story as a whole is what was lacking and what was messy for me and what was why I didn't get into the movie as much as I wanted to. I think that the score is good, though. The shots look good for the most part. Like I said, the actors absolutely have the opportunity to just showcase their absolute talents, especially in that office sequence with the dean. I think, although it was way too long, they basically had two angles for the first half of that conversation, and it jumped back and forth between them. And the fact that those actors, that both Logan Lerman and the man playing the dean, were able to utilize their lines that well, I was really blown away with. That said, in the end, guys, I think Indignation is a very rousing and very compelling film in the sense of being a character study on a young man's new experiences in college. So essentially, I wouldn't call this a coming-of-age story, though. I think it's more like a delving into a person's head and how they essentially think when they're thrown into a new situation that they're not used to. And it takes a more intellectual approach at looking at this by just having a lot of dialogue back and forth to show how these characters are thinking. But ultimately, that was the main problem for me. I definitely feel that the movie could have been shortened a bit, and I feel that it loses that focus that I think was so well set up in the first act of the movie. I love the first act of this movie. I was so into it, and when the big thing happens between Sarah Gadon and Logan Lerman in the first 40 minutes, I was like, okay, I'm into this movie. I can't wait to see where this is going to go next. And then the movie just sort of loses their relationship and focuses more on Logan Lerman. And I thought that was fine because we were introduced with him. But then they're on and off, and the scenes just felt uneven, and it felt like the film is bouncing back and forth between the relationship of these two characters and how kind of different they are and how Logan Lerman's feeling. And I felt that they should have, I don't know, maybe stuck with one and focused more on I don't know. So I feel that a lot of things were a little messy in that regards and a little uneven in terms of storytelling. Performances go, and just straightforward back and forth dialogue is really on fire and it's really on point. That said, guys, I would recommend Indignation if you want to see a great Logan Lerman performance. I think it's totally worth it for that. I don't think it's one of the best of the year or anything. I don't think it's anything you have to rush out to go see, but if it is playing in a theater near you and you have 2 hours to kill, why not? It's decent, and I lost my train of thought for a second. That's my cue to give my rating for this movie. I'm going to give Indignation, I'm going to go 8.5 out of 10 or B. I'll go a solid B for Indignation. I think it has its problems, but it's entertaining and fascinating to watch at the same time because of how good the cast is and everything. So guys, if anyone saw Indignation, let me know down below in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching me. Thank you for watching me in the dark in my car this late at night. I really appreciate it. I should stop talking so loud because people are trying to sleep and they're probably going to want to kill me. Guys, I'll see you in my next video. Check out my Hell or High Water review. That would be much appreciated, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.